Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards here for Heffy Doodle today. I'm so excited to be here. This is my very first video for the Heffy Doodle design team. If you have followed me at all, you know that I am a huge Heffy Doodle fan, so it's such a great pleasure to be here today. I wanted to create a really fun and colourful card today, so I've pulled out some new to me products. This is the Absolutely Awesome Stamp and Die Set. I then have some things from the new release. I have the Present Shaker dies, I have the Happy Birthday Jumbo Sentiment dies, and the Carnival Star Backdrop die. I love these products and I really wanted to have a play around with them today. So to create my card, I'm kind of doing things in different elements and then popping it all together as one kind of card in the end. So I've cut the Carnival Star backdrop die from some white Heffy Doodle cardstock, and I'm layering that on top of this a piece of yellow paper. This comes from the Fawn Really Rainbow paper pad, and I just thought it was nice and bright and colourful and perfect for popping behind this backdrop die. Once that's done, I'll leave that to the side to dry, and I've gone ahead and cut out my sentiment. So I have cut this from three times from some white cardstock and once from some Heffy Doodle Kiwi Crush cardstock. I think this might be my new favourite colour cardstock. It's so pretty and fun and happy. I just love it. Nice bright green. So with those three white ones, I'm stacking them on top of each other, and I'm going to finish off with this green one on the top. So it makes a nice kind of dimensional sentiment to pop onto the card, and I really like doing this, and I find this is much easier than trying to apply like foam tape all the way behind the sentiment. It's just much easier to stack these die cuts on top of each other to create a nice bit of height and dimension. The great thing about this die is the little tittle for the eye is actually attached to the H, so there's no chance of losing it, which is really a good thing for me, believe me. So next up I have the shaker dies. So these are the Present Shaker dies. I have gone ahead and cut the background, the frame and the box top from some Ice Blast Heffy Doodle cardstock. I've cut that bow from some Razzleberry Heffy Doodle cardstock, and then this acetate piece is the Heffy Doodle extra thick acetate. It's amazing. It's brilliant for shakers. So I'm going ahead and attaching the frame down onto that acetate just with some tape runner there, and then I'm going to attach the lid of the box to the top of that piece, and then I can start assembling all the other little bits and pieces. Now this die set is absolutely amazing. You can create shakers, you don't have to create a shaker. You can do all sorts of different styles of boxes. There's two different styles of bow. There's a little tag with a couple of different styles of string that you can use to look like the tags attached to the box. There are ribbons to go kind of across the box. It's such a good die to have. So this bow you get one, there's two dies that create this bow. One has the kind of etched elements on it, and the other one is just plain. So what I've done is I've taken the one with the etched elements and I've cut the tails off that one and then stacked it on top of the plain one to kind of create a bit more of dimension and make it kind of look a bit more 3D, if you like. That was the idea behind it. And I'm just attaching that with some liquid glue right to the center of that top there. Next up, I'm pulling out some Heffy Doodle foam strips. These are perfect for shakers. They are a nice height. You don't need to double them up. They're just the perfect height for shakers. And they come in these little strips. So there are two different widths of strips. I'm using the slimmer ones today for my shaker here. But the thicker ones are perfect as well. I just thought these ones would hide nicely behind that frame once I get it stuck down properly. Which is, I'm a bit clumsy, so I always have difficulty with this stuff. But once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my powder tool and just run it around the edge of that kind of foam tape there, just to make sure that there's no excess stickiness where my sequin shaker mix can kind of attach to, and my sequins will move a bit more freely. So for my sequins today, I am using this gorgeous, truly outrageous shaker mix from Heffy Doodle. It is just perfect because it just matches my card. It's bright and colourful. It's got purples, it's got bright pinks, it's got blues, and I just think it worked really nicely with the card that I'm making today. So I'm going to remove all that liner paper from that foam tape and then just pop that backing piece right on top. And that is it. My little shaker is complete. And of course, I had to play around with it because why not? It's so much fun. So the final element for my card are the little images. So I'm using these two little fairies from Absolutely Awesome. I've coloured them and cut them out with the coordinating dies so they're all ready to go. And now my card is all set. I just have to assemble all the pieces. So I have that background piece. I'm going to pop the sentiment right at the very top there, my present kind of in the middle towards the bottom, and then the two fairies kind of looking like they're holding my present up. And once I'm happy with the placement of everything, I can go ahead and start gluing everything down. So I'm using a liquid glue because I have already made this sentiment quite dimensional by adding those stacked pieces together. So it doesn't need any more dimension on there. And as I say, it would be rather fiddly to pop in foam tape all the way around these pieces. Much easier to die cut it several times and stack them up together. So just using some nice strong liquid glue to make sure that that stays in place. Once I'm happy with the placement of that, I'm going to move my little fairies out of the way and attach my present right down into the center. This is really the star of the show today, this little shaker. It's so fun and I can think of so many different ways of using this. I actually thought it would be really cool to have a matching tag. So you could make a tag from this as well and attach it to a present, a birthday present. So you've got a matching tag that goes along with the card. I thought that would be a really great idea as well. So I'm just using some foam squares on the back of my fairies. Because my shaker present is a little bit higher, I needed to add 2 layers of foam squares to make these kind of line up with that present and be sitting kind of just in front of it. So once I'm happy with that, that is pretty much the front of my card complete. So just finishing it off with this last little fairy here. Again, I'm using 2 layers of foam squares just so that it can sit just in front of that little present. And it kind of looks like they're either pointing to it or holding it up. I'm not sure really. But I just thought they looked kind of cute on either side of it there. So that is the front of my card. I just need to attach it to a card base. So I just have some plain white cardstock, which I've cut down to a standard size card base of 5.5 by 4.25 inches. I've made a top folding card base today. I'm not going to stamp anything inside it at the moment. I may do later on. Sometimes I stamp an extra little sentiment inside, but I decided just to leave it blank today and just let the front do the talking really. To finish off, I'm using some crystal stickles on my little fairies' wings because, you know, fairies need a little bit of glitter and glitz, don't they? So I just thought that that would look really pretty, and it does look lovely and shiny when it's dry. And to finish up, I realized that I hadn't added any white gel pen details to my little bow or my sentiment. So I pulled out my Sakura white jelly roll pen here, and I'm just adding some white highlights to that bow and to the happy birthday sentiment. I really like doing this. I think it just gives an extra little pop and it kind of really makes those elements stand out. You don't have to do this, of course, but I just like the way it looks. So once that was done, that is it. My card is complete. It was really easy to put together because I just did everything in little elements, and it all came together really nicely. I really, really love the colours. The Heffy Doodle cardstock is so fun. I'm pretty new to the Heffy Doodle cardstock. I hadn't used it before, but the colours are so bright and just, they really make me smile. As I say, this Kiwi Crush one, it might be my new favourite. Absolutely love it. And this present shaker die, I urge you to go and check it out. There's so many different ways of using it, and it's such a fun element to add to a card. So I really hope you enjoyed this one today. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And of course, please do subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you come back and join me again. Thanks so much. Take care.